Welcome back to the world behind midnight. Tonight, what you're about to hear isn't a story. It's a warning. Some forests hide creatures. Some forests hide intelligence. And some hide watchers that have observed humans for centuries. My name is Caden Copeland. 11 years Marine Recon, 3 tours overseas, 2 Purple Hearts. I thought I had cataloged every form of danger. I was wrong. The assignment came through an anonymous courier, a sealed envelope, a single phone number, and instructions. Team assembles in Asheville, Sunday, 0400. The pay was astronomical. To clean, Weston case. My partner leaned over in the transport and muttered, "Money, this clean usually carries a stain." We didn't know what we were walking into. The forest, the terrain, the air, they would teach us what predator truly means. Long before we saw it. By the time we landed on the ridge, the rules had already changed. Every snapped branch, every shadow, every gust of wind would carry meaning we weren't yet trained to decode. The Pisgah National Forest isn't merely trees. It's a cathedral of observation, a library of scent and sound, where each ridge folds into another, like a page in a book written before humans existed. And in those woods, the first question wasn't, will we survive? It was, will we be noticed at all? The briefing took place in a warehouse just outside Asheville. No logos, no insignia, just concrete walls and a sense of quiet dread. The man in charge introduced himself only as Hargrove, calm, precise, academic, gray merino sweater, tablet in hand. Not a soldier, not a bureaucrat. Something else entirely. He explained, Sector 7. Previous teams had entered. One returned incomplete. The other never returned at all. Mission, reconnaissance and containment of a non-catalogued apex organism exhibiting anomalous behavioral patterns. We were to observe, record, and survive. Anything else was prohibited. Our team, Weston Case, is a former Army Ranger. Lean, hyper-focused, silent when danger rises. Arya Herring is a signals intelligence specialist, ex-military, analytical, detached. Eli Herrera is a CAL medic, humor masking, instinctive precision. Caden Copeland, that's me. Overconfidence replaced by the chill of anticipation. Weapons were standard, but orders were not. Knowing what it looks like before you see it introduces a psychological variable we cannot manage, Hargrove said. Every element of the briefing felt deliberate. Every pause was designed to unsettle. By the time we left the warehouse, the forest outside already felt like a living courtroom, and we were the accused. Pisgah isn't just old forest. Sector 7 was a cathedral of age and observation. GPS signals fractured every 30 minutes. Ridges folded into valleys that swallowed sound. We moved in staggered formation, Weston on point, Arya monitoring signals, Eli and I covering flanks. The air smelled of iron, wet rhododendron, and something chemical, something feral. Midday brought the first sign, silence, not gradual, instant, no insects, no wind through leaves, no birdsong. A trained operative knows this silence. Everything small has fled, something large watches. Weston crouched near a steep creek. Massive, deliberate, bipedal footprints pressed into the mud. Not stumbling, not irregular, comfortable on 2 legs, intentional. Eli pressed fingers to the heel strike. Paled. It isn't hiding, it's studying, he said. Arya overlaid our GPS route on a topo map that evening. Patterns emerged. Snapped hardwood branches at impossible heights, stacked stones in geometric clusters, strips of bark peeled vertically. Not random. We weren't moving freely. We were inside a corridor prepared for us. At 0200, the forest spoke. Knocking. Hollow percussion echoing across ridges. Timed. Coland response. Communication. Intelligence. Something was speaking without words. Through thermal optics. I saw it. Upright. Stationary. 8 feet tall. Observing. Not attacking. Evaluating. It stepped aside, revealing younger figures behind it. Movements, precise, bird-like, deliberate. The hollow wasn't a den, it was a record, a living archive. The carvings on the bark, geometric, recursive, a language of pattern, structural logic repeated across trees. Not identical, but intelligible to its kind. We understood. We weren't intruders. We were participants in a dialogue that had existed long before humans arrived. The forest itself had rules, and we had broken them the moment we stepped inside. We slept in 30-minute bursts. At night, the knocking continued, rhythmically. Each strike a word, a sentence, a warning. We were being evaluated. By the third day, a natural depression ringed by white oaks revealed itself. The smell hit first, chemical musk, layered with sweet, almost human warmth. The ground inside bore patterns of repeated activity decades, perhaps centuries. The largest creature emerged at the edge. Dark, coarse, fur, posture, architectural. Two smaller figures lingered. No aggression. Observation. It stepped aside, revealing carvings on exposed limestone, handprints, ancient, pre-colonial, interspersed with geometric carvings identical to those in the oaks. A shared record across species and time. Eli whispered, "This isn't a den, it's history, a message." We realized something vital. These creatures weren't predators. They were guardians, observing, cataloging, deciding whether we were a threat. Without warning, a helicopter arrived. South low. No running lights. Floodlights tore through the hollow. The creatures didn't roar. They vocalized grief, resonant, layered, like a funeral in sound. Hargrove appeared out of the shadows. Secondary teams moved in. Suppression specialists, containment hardware, trained for domestic enforcement of secrecy. The elder's eyes, still and intelligent, observed us, knowledgeable, disappointed, a silent accusation. We fled into the lava tubes Arya had flagged 36 hours underground. 11 miles later, a logging contractor found us. Locals asked nothing. They never do. Weston vanished. Eli left the country. Arya disappeared. I returned home. But I cannot unsee the carvings, the handprints, the intelligence, the patient, deliberate evaluation of the elder. We had burned a house we never understood, a guardian, a neighbor. It remembered. The government calls it an asset. I call it a lesson in humility. Some secrets are best left behind midnight, because some doors, once opened, never close again. Some forests remember the footsteps that trespassed where they didn't belong, and some watchers, patient and silent, never forget the faces illuminated by floodlight and betrayal. If you listen closely, you might still hear the knocking echo through the ridgelines. Not as a warning, not as a threat, but as a reminder. Subscribe to The World Behind Midnight and step into the next classified file before it disappears into redacted silence. The next operation is already waiting, and not every story ends with an extraction.